Hey, how are you doing? Today, a few days ago, the full release for a game called Deer Simulator came out. So I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to explain this absolute mess of a game. I mean, just, just look at the trailer, man. Yes, this is an actual game that you just watched. Um, well, I'm going to talk about the first portion of the game currently. That would be the present day. First, I'm going to talk about the deer. So, I think that the idea here is that you're reborn as the deer. Because after the opening sequence, you are presented with the option to be reborn. And then, if you choose yes on that option, you're immediately after presented with the deer and the tutorial to control it. Also, what even is this? James Bond looking head ass? You may see the DLC boat. I'll get into that later. Oh, and there's, uh, this.
Hi, 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 hi.
Seriously, this game is the weirdest thing, man. Oh, and you may want to know what happens when you blow stuff up and anger the police. Well, it doesn't look good for you. Unless, of course, you have like a million guns and can mow down the sheep very, very easily. Oh, and yes, you may have noticed the disaster level meter in the top right corner of the screen. I will get into more how that works a little bit later on. Oh, and I accidentally skipped the cutscene where the next level of police shows up. So I'm gonna leave that as a prize for you to find out. And look at our little deer. Isn't he beautiful? No, no, of course not. He's a weapon of mass destruction. I got my own mini koala from the little DLC boat. I'll still get more into that later. By and I unlocked it by defeating the big one. And yes, you are currently seeing our deer, our beautiful deer of mass destruction, destroy a power plant with a katana? Wait a minute, how the heck did I clip into this building? Uh... Well, it seems that the laser rabbit police don't take kindly to defying the laws of physics. Who would have guessed? Honestly, I feel like this has turned less from an explanation to a review, so I'd like to get back to explaining the game now. Alright, so basically the whole idea behind this game is you go around blowing stuff up with weapons you find in the police parking lot for some reason, just by destroying stuff, and, like picking them up off the ground for some reason. Of course, your actions have consequences, and thus blowing stuff up will, of course, anger the police. Because that just makes sense. The way police spawn is your disaster level reaching a new level, say from C to B. Every time your rank goes up, a new wave of police will spawn, and depending on the level, a new police will be introduced along with every other police before that being spawned as well. This rule, of course, has one exception, which I'll get into later. There's a boat called the DLC boat, which of course shows up if you have the DLC. This boat has multiple items on it, and these items will unlock as you progress and do things in the game, such as fighting optional bosses. You may also earn items by viewing certain endings, one of the two at the time I'm recording this video. I'll get into those two endings and analyzing them in the video covering the future, which I don't have time for in this video because of time constraints. There are, I think, two games to play, one being Cow Reversey and some sort of puzzle in the future. Be wary of playing these games, however, because you will lose your gear and disaster level progress. As I mentioned a little bit ago, you may fight optional bosses. Some of these include the koala, the giant future hologram koala, and the space whale thing. There's an island near Chinatown with 3 buttons. If you went there before, you may have noticed a rhino button that currently has a rhino on it, a deer button, and a cow button. If you take a cow there to press down the cow button, and then have yourself press down the deer button, this happens. Really taking the term deer lightly, huh? Oh, and also my followers destroyed enough stuff to get to disaster level A, so here's that cutscene. If you go to where the dog landed, you can start the final boss fight of the present day. For your viewing pleasure, here is that fight, unedited. Chinatown, you may have noticed a dog button. Take the dog to that button, and oh, isn't that just precious? Anyways, take the dog to the button to press it down, go step on the deer button, and then this cutscene happens. This is a portal to the future, but I don't have time to cover the future in one video. So we're gonna do that next time. In the second, I guess, episode in this sort of mini-series. Anyways, let me know how you liked it, and if there's anything I should do to improve part 2.
You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for right. You're done, but the time it hit you, you're not surprised. Got your game planned out. Do it deep, get 'em 2 steps ahead, yeah. So step into my way, stand out. It's a trap, one step and you're dead. Why just a bit a second ago with blue skies, but now lightning back your last result. It's not an accident that no one hears you cries as your last dream seems to disappear.